Daf Yomi, Tractate Chullin, page 40. A, top of the page with the words Shnaim Ochzin Basakin Veshochatin. Shnaim Ochzin Basakin Veshochatin. Let's get some more brown there. White and brown. This is the white and brown. Actually, it'll be nice to have it equal, but okay. Alright. Okay. Shnaim ochazim besakin meshochatin. Ech l'shem echad mikol eilu. Ech l'shem davakol asher shchil besulim. If there were two people grasping a knife together and slaughtering an animal, one slaughtering for the sake of one of all those enumerated in the first clause of the Mishnah, and one slaughtering for the sake of a legitimate matter, their slaughter is not valid. Okay? And now we start the Talmud. Zog the Gemara psula in zichem esim lo urumeni ashoichet l'shum harim l'shum gvois l'shum naoris l'shum min baros l'shum chamar livana l'shum kochavim umazalos l'shum Michael asar gadol l'shum shilshul katan hare elu zichem esim. The Mishnah states that if one slaughters for the sake of mountains or other natural entities, the slaughter is unfit. The Gemara infers it is unfit, yes, with regard to offerings to the dead, meaning to idols, it is not in that category. Apparently the status of the animal is that of an unslaughtered carcass, from which benefit is permitted, and not that of an idolatrous offering, from which benefit is forbidden, and the Gemara raises a contradiction from a Braita with regard to one who slaughters for the sake of mountains, for the sake of hills, for the sake of rivers, for the sake of wildernesses, for the sake of the sun and the moon, for the sake of the stars and constellations, for the sake of Michael, the great ministering angel, or even for the sake of a small worm. These are offerings to the dead, from which benefit is forbidden. Abaye said the apparent contradiction between the Mishnah and the Braita is not difficult. This Mishnah that teaches that the slaughter is not valid but benefit is permitted is referring to a case where one says that he is slaughtering the animal for the sake of the mountain itself, which is not an idol. That Braita that teaches that the animal is an offering to the dead and benefit is forbidden is referring to a case where one says that he is slaughtering the animal for the sake of the angel of the mountain. The language of the Braita is also precise, as the mountain and the other natural entities are taught together with, and therefore similar to Michael, the great ministering angel. Conclude from it that the Tana is referring to slaughter for the sake of a spiritual entity, not the mountain itself. Amar Rav Huna, hoy sabehem es chaveirai, ravutz levnei avodas zareh. Kevan sheshachat basimon echad, asara. Sofer la ki haydo amaru la amar Rav Yochanan. Afal mishyamu lo mishtachaveh lebehem es chaveirai, lo asara, ela ba ma'aseh asara. Rav Huna says, if the animal of another was prone before an idol, once one cut, one simon, the windpipe or the gullet, he rendered the animal forbidden. He holds in accordance with that which Ula says, that Rabbi Yochanan says, although the sages said that one who bows to the animal of another is not rendered forbidden, if he performs the sacrificial rite upon it, he renders it forbidden. The case cited by Rav Huna involves an action of that kind, cutting one simon, therefore the animal is forbidden. Eisver Rabbi Nachman Rav Huna, hashoichit chatos b'Shabbos, b'chutz l'avodas zareh, chayev sholish chatois. V'i amrit kevan sheshachat bo simon echad asara, ashchutei chutz lo michayev. Now turning to 40b, just to finish the idea. Mechatech be'avahu, amar papa hacha b'chat asoi v'skinon dechuluhu v'hadi hadadi ka'ate. Rabbi Nachman raised an objection to the opinion of Rav Huna from a Braita, one who unwittingly slaughters an animal. that was designated as a sin offering on Shabbat outside the temple for idol worship is liable to bring 3 sin offerings. 1 for performing the prohibited labor on slaughtering on Shabbat, 1 for slaughtering a sacrificial animal outside the temple, and 1 for slaughtering an animal for idol worship. And if you say that once he cuts one simon, he renders the animal forbidden as an idolatrous offering, then let him not be liable to bring a sin offering for slaughter of a sacrificial animal outside the temple courtyard. Turning to 40b now, as it is as though he is merely chopping in dirt. Since one is not liable for slaughtering outside the temple courtyard a sacrificial animal unfit for sacrifice, Rav Papa said, here we are dealing with a bird sin offering, for which the requirement is to cut only one simon. And when cutting that simon, all of the 3 prohibitions come to be violated simultaneously. 3 in 1, you might say. Okay, we'll stop here and continue with the next Amud.